Homosexuals, I am back. And oh boy, I hope you're doing as good as I'm doing today, but at the same time, I hope you feel a lot better than what I'm feeling right now. I cannot stress it enough. There is no over-exaggeration when I say that this is the way I just struggled and grueled through this workout today. It is probably one of the most, not even intense, just one of the most, tiring workouts I've had in a while. And again, not because I couldn't do it or anything like that, not because I didn't know what I was doing, but I said it in the last video. I had a very, very minor strained little pull in my back, so I had to use some shitty-ass fucking equipment. And lo and behold, got better within 2 days. That's an amazing plus. But at the same time, I have to recognize that my low back is just not as strong as it was as when I got onto as when I walked in. You know, that's how it goes, unfortunately. So I got to rebuild this back up to a point where I can confidently swing underneath it without any regard for my life. You know, that's just how it is. That's what core confidence is. You know, it's just swinging under the bar without a second thought of, what if I go too fast? What if I can't carry it back up? That's not why we do it. You know, we do it so that we can swing into that shit and just be like, nah, whatever. You know, can't think about it. Just, I'll figure out life after this rep. That's basically it. Clean and jerks felt pretty solid, actually. I was a little surprised. Again, extraordinarily tiring. Extraordinarily. Just doing 4 triples on clean and jerk alone is already so much effort. But having to do that with a slightly weaker low back, I'm sure you could tell I was a lot slower coming out of the hole. It was it's just how it is, you know. It's just it'll take you down like a bitch, and you won't be able to do anything about it other than just fight through it. You know, that's why we come every day. That's why we keep consistent and disciplined, so that we can be passionate by the end of it. But anyway, front squats also, you know what? They felt good. Don't get me wrong. What I have to be extraordinarily grateful for is, as hard as it was and as sore as I feel, especially in my low back, there's no pain. There's zero pain. There's no lack of mobility. My core confidence is just slightly lower. So, all in all, I gotta be fucking ecstatic about that. You know, it's a huge plus to come back after having a little tweak, especially in such a weak place like the low back, and then to be able to come back and swing weight like I did today, because today was my heavy clean and jerk day of the week. You know, I was a little wary getting in. I was hoping it'd be more like a light Olympic day with some benching to have an extra day off, but that was what life threw at me. So I was like, all right, well, I can either keep staying at home and not put in my consistency and discipline, or I can send it and do the best that I get. And whatever anybody's gonna fucking say, I can tell you with certainty that I did my goddamn best. That was about everything I fucking had. When it came to the clean pulls, as you can imagine, isolating the strength in the whipping movement of the clean put the most strain on my low back today. So I decided to just, it didn't hurt. It wasn't painful in any way. I was able to do it, but I could not confidently tell myself it is worth doing all of my working sets right now. I can feel it. My low back got exponentially sore every set and rep that I did doing clean pulls. So I was like, okay, I feel good enough to do 1 working set. So we'll at least do that so I can touch the percentage that I wanted to. And other than that, you know, I got to recognize where my limitations are. I got to commit to the path that I've chosen to take, you know? So before we get into that, physically, again, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful. I'm happy that today happened. This is one of those dog shit days that you got to push through to have one of your best. You know, I say that all the fucking time, but it's never going to feel good going through them, you know, these dog shit days. You just, as good of a mindset as I can have about it and tell you advice about it, I am no better than any one of you. I am going to bitch and moan my heart out going through these awful fucking days. So it doesn't help that I'm out of town at a gym where I have no homies to express my bitchiness to, but whatever, you know? Again, that's one of the things where it's like, that might be a good thing, you know, being able to just like kind of sit in my head and like really turn on my own mindset and be like, all right, this is one of the worst days I've had in a while. I feel like shit, but I got to push through it. So I took it on the chin and did the best I had that my body would allow me to do. And I didn't even, you know, it's good to remind yourself sometimes through that experience that you don't need the homies to keep going. You know, it's always great, and it's a great motivator. You should do it with the homies if you can. But it's always good to know that no matter what, I'm going to fucking be in that gym no matter goddamn what. That's what's important. So physically, 6.5. I can leave it at that. You know what? 6.7. I'll give myself a little bit of wiggle room because the clean and jerks and front squats were not bad, you know, by any means. They were pretty solid for this was the heavy day of the week for clean and jerk. And clean and jerk days are the highest levels of volume because they're 2 lifts in 1, you know. So I was basically doing double reps on a day where my back was already sore from being a little tweaked. And so all in all, did pretty fucking well, even though I felt horrendous, you know, especially getting to the gym at 11 in the morning. Ew. Yuck. I'm always telling you guys, evening workout, that's where it's at. That's what we love to do. Anyway, mentally, above all else, you know, I could give you a mental for when I got in. It was pretty high. Mental for when I was in the middle of my workout. It was pretty fucking low. But, you know, I have to give you the mental from when I leave the gym, because that's where I get to look back on my perspective and truly understand what I've taken away from today. So through everything and all the shit that I had to put my body through and the perspective and the experience that I have gotten from today, I can at least throw it at a 7.4. You know, again, it's not that crazy of a number, don't get me wrong, but I expected my mental to be a lot lower in the 6s with my physical, because it normally lines up pretty evenly. And I was pretty happy to allow myself to be grateful toward for the small things, you know. It's so damn hard in the moment on those shitty days. It's so hard to remind yourself of what you actually want to be grateful for, you know, what you are ecstatic about, other than just the things that you know you felt shitty about. Because if you already know you feel like shit, then what's the point in dwelling on it, you know? You just got to drop that shit and move on and be like, you know what? My body hurts. My core is fucked. My physical aptitude is at a all-time low. But God damn it, I'm lifting. You know? I could have been out for days, if not weeks. I just got over my chest and my knee. And I thought, oh, fuck. This one unlucky day when I went to a gym I wasn't comfortable with, and I chose to lift with a fucking deadlift bar, which looking back on that alone, it's like, what the fuck was I doing? You know? But above all that, I got to come back within 2 days, do the same lift I wanted to do, instead of having to restart the program or doing deload days. And it felt great. Even though I only got to one working set, that was what I wanted to commit to. There's so many what ifs you can put on the paths that you choose, you know, when it's kind of like those games, like, I don't know, Detroit Become Human is the first one that comes to my mind, but or Until Dawn, just the ones that you have to, like, actually make choices that will affect what happens in the end. It's like, that's just life, man. You know, every choice you make is going to affect where you go, but it's whether or not you can actually commit to the path that you choose to take that will dictate how much of a good daily life you'll have. You know, that's at least the way that I like to look at it. Because, sure, the things that I did today, maybe my back's going to pull again tomorrow. Maybe I put too much strain on it and I shouldn't have even worked out today. Maybe I should have deloaded. Maybe I shouldn't have done just clean and jerk day. Who fucking cares? That's what I chose to do. So why am I going to look back on that with all these negatives when I could be like, you know what, I lifted. It felt pretty good. It didn't feel great, but it was decent. You know? It was the same weights I programmed, and I didn't have to go down, even though it felt heavier than I wanted them to. I got to lift, man. Like, that's why we're here. It's not just the numbers. It's the feeling of wah, ooh, and locking that shit out over my head. I can't get enough. You know, of course I want more weight. Of course I want to put up a heavier number every program cycle. Of course it's part of it. But at the depth of it all, I'm here for my passion. You know, the passion is not a number. It is the feeling that I get, the purpose that I behold onto myself. You know, because everybody's always walking through life being like, oh, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I don't know what life's got in store for me. You come up with that shit, God damn it. You come up with what purpose and passion you want to live for. That's the hardest part about life. It's realizing that that's up to you. Nobody is going to do your purpose and passions for you. You know, it is up to you to put yourself in as many environments and in as many new experiences as you can throughout as whatever free time you have. Every time you think that it might not be worth going, that if you haven't gone, go. Do it. Who cares if it seems so fucking stupid? It might be your new lifelong passion. I weighed 225 pounds as a fucking 9th grader. Ate my heart out. Had all sorts of anxiety, depression. I was lonely as fuck. Had no friends. And at the end of it, I was like, I had to move states in high school. I didn't even get to go to high school with my longtime childhood friends, you know? So upon being fat, depressed, and anxious and lonely, I also had to move to a new high school where I didn't know anybody. And that was the first time in my life where I was like, what could I do myself that isn't dependent on the actions of other people around me that will make me love myself for once? And I got in the gym, and it wasn't just the gym, by the way. I did everything. I did golf, I did basketball, I did football, I did tennis, I did fucking dance marathon club, I did National Honor Society. I didn't give a shit about the credits. I just wanted to be around people, you know? I wanted to be around people. And so when I found out we had a weightlifting team, because my old school did, and I was like, okay, that's something I could do. And look at me now. 7 years later, I'm fucking yoked. I'm yoked. Fuck. I love it. I can't get enough. This is why I talk to you guys. It reminds me of why the fuck I'm here. You know? I love it. I've committed. It was that there have been a lot of bad days, a lot of bad years, a lot of bad things that have happened. But goddamn it, I'm still loving life and remaining passionate because I choose to. It's my choice. Just as much as it's my choice to eat shit and sit in my room and decide to throw a fucking pity parade. So anyway, I'm done yelling at you guys. As you could tell, I was pent up. The last video was shit, and I didn't get to talk to you guys yesterday. So I had some shit to go off about, you know? So I really, really appreciate you guys sticking around. I love it when you guys get to hang out and hear me ramble on about this bullshit. But let me know how your lifts and your lives have been going. I love hearing about it. I'm all about it, you know? It's always great to spread that kind of positivity. And either way, we're here. We're in it for the long run. We've got so much more in us than we realize. Even me now. Even if I've got so many years of experience and an idea of where I want to go, I've got so much more in me. Not because I know that, but because I choose to believe that I have more, you know? That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me passionate. What gives me purpose along the way, you know? So anyway, I got snatches and squats tomorrow. So we'll see how my back is appreciating those. I think I'll feel a lot better tomorrow now that I've gotten through a really tough workout without feeling any pain. It's just soreness. So do some heat and hot, or do some hot and cold therapy. Feel pretty good. Nice sleep. And you'll see me tomorrow, you know? So just keep doing it. Keep loving life. And I love you guys. I appreciate it as always. See ya.